The one and only Jon Rothstein wants to talk about Kentucky's depth. He has tagged this as a storyline to track this season. The way this is positioned, this is from one of his just weekly daily segments that he does for CBS. 5 questions in the SEC was the segment. And for Kentucky, his question was framed this way, Cart. Does Kentucky have too many players? I'm going to play you 51 seconds of Jon Rothstein basically explaining why, as good as their depth is, it could actually potentially become a problem for Kentucky this season.
Because I remember this, and I remember it vividly when I was at a Notre Dame practice. Mike Bray was the coach. And he said to me, John, depth is overrated in games. It's underrated in practice. So many coaches talk about wanting to play more players. Usually the magic number for a lot of coaches with really good teams is 7.5, meaning somewhere between 7 and 8. And that's why I'm curious to see how this all comes out in the wash for Kentucky. And you can't use the bye games that are played as a real barometer or a litmus test for how rotations are going to be used. You can't, because for all intents and purposes, those games are where coaches get blowout wins to use their bench and pad their numbers. You could go a lot of different ways.
Stop it there. Gave a Mike Bray quote that was interesting. Depth is overrated in games and underrated in practice. And you really want 7.5, 7 to 8 players come March if you are a championship level team. Kentucky has more than that. That is for sure. They had 10 without Jalen Lowe and Jaden Quaintance, and I'm not kidding you. All 10 of those dudes deserve minutes. I can't see too many of the guys we saw beat Purdue coming out of the rotation entirely as the season goes on. Do you buy Rothstein's premise here that Kentucky could actually have more than the amount of players that they want to win a championship?
So first things first, the fact that we're getting the Mike Bray Notre Dame as like the reference point for this one is a little bit gives me a little bit of a chuckle when we're talking about Kentucky basketball. But I do think Rothstein has a point. Like
That's
I
a
do
really good point. I'm sorry,
like
but like
like there was almost a point when you were doing that. I didn't want to stop you in the middle of the clip, but I was like, can you cut off the clip? Like, because we're doing Mike Bray and Notre Dame to Kentucky.
Mike Bray, who had 2 3-win seasons in the ACC in his final 5 years, is lecturing on how to win with rotations.
Right. Like it wasn't a depth issue, Papa. It was a you have an awful team issue.
Papa.
Papa, come on now. Like let's not do that. Pop pop. But here's what it is for me with Kentucky. I do think that, I agree with the premise that like you can't keep everybody happy on a basketball team. I think that there does need to be like a trimming of the rotation to a certain point where you identify like the 8 that are going to be in your rotation and you ride with those guys. I'll tell you what though, one thing that'll make a good amount of those guys that get left out on this one is that they're being compensated like they're a starter. The
Yeah,
past,
Mike Bray never paid his guys $22 million.
I'm pretty sure Notre Dame players had to pay Mike Bray to play at a certain point. They were that bad. So like, yeah, yes, it is, but that's every basketball team. And also, okay, is the guy outside of where I was at, they're not happy. Am I winning? Am I winning?
Yes.
So I'm winning. I'm paying you, but you're unhappy. Hmm. Okay, well, you can make a decision for yourself. Well, you want to stay along here? You want to be better than the guy that's in front of you that's helping me win hella games right now? Or do you want to go ahead and go see what Eric Musselman can give you at USC?
That exact sentiment comes up from you on camera 2 or 3 times a season only, and it's always 2 or 3 of my favorite moments of the season. I just love this point by you. And for those watching this, Carter and I run this channel as a business, believe it or not. Like, it's my full-time job. Carter puts hours into this as if it's a full-time job. Um, I mean, we employ people, we do pay people. We have a full-time producer, we've got a bunch of part-time contributors. And you keep this same energy, by the way, anytime we have like personnel related decisions on our side. And it's just funny to hear it like come back on the channel in a basketball sense now. Because I've literally heard you say the words like, well, is our channel performing? Are we making money? Are we paying everybody? Then cool. Like that person want to leave, fine. Like then I think we're good. It's very true. Like Mark Pope's not worried about this. Why the
Mhm.
hell would Mark Pope worry about this?
It's also the classic phrase like, oh, so you're telling me, because I got, listen, can I do this? I know I didn't want to do the whole like Mike Brady Notre Dame thing. Can I tell you about some real ass problems I got going on in Michigan State?
Please.
That's your issue? That you got 14 guys. That's the issue. Would kill for that issue. Would absolutely kill for that issue. That sounds like a great issue to have, and it sounds like you got a great coach that can figure that shit out.
Yep. Yep. So I just speaking personally to give a little bit of different perspective on this, but I agree with everything you've said. Ultimately, I think it's a fair question from Rothstein, but I'm not worried about it at all. And if it becomes a problem, Mark Pope will deal with it and figure it out like immediately. There won't be an issue on this team. However, I will say this is a little bit of a change of tune for me because prior to last season, this was a point I wholeheartedly agreed with. Like
Mm,
I have strongly always believed great basketball teams, not just good basketball teams, great basketball teams should only play 8 players. Maybe like a ninth guy is in and out for 4 minutes a game, but like how do you keep your locker room happy and how do you want your roster to be built also, Cart? Let's be extremely clear about something. It's great if you have 12 Braden Smiths, right? 12
hmm
Otega Owes. Most teams don't have that. Most teams have a pretty sizable gap between their best players and their eighth best players.
hmm
So, like, you need to get quality minutes. You have 200 minutes to work with. The more minutes that go to your good players, the better. That's how it's always worked. I've always felt this way, and that would make me agree with this point with this Kentucky team until two things. Thing number one, Michigan State last year broke the mold. I now see the value because I saw a team win a championship in the Big Ten by basically wearing teams down and doing it by committee. There
hmm
was a great player who played a lot at the end of the year. Then there was 10 guys that there was not much difference in between 2 and 11. That might be what this Kentucky team's build is. And it's a very unique build. It's hard to replicate. Most teams can't do it. But what's good for a team that's built like that is different than what's good for the average college basketball team. And playing 12 guys might be the path for Mark Pope this year. We'll see. Second, the other thing that changed me, I watched them play.
mm,
Like for real, dog. Like every guy that stepped on the court deserves minutes. Who are we trying to take out of this rotation?
right.
You're gonna take Cam Williams completely out of it? That's like the only guy I think that was on the floor that I'd be like, maybe he doesn't need minutes. He even hit 2 threes. Like you can't. Everybody's good. Every single guy on this team is good. So it's gonna be unique. But god damn, this roster is unique. It's gonna break the mold a little bit. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's expensive.
Right.
Expensive.
So I'm down to track the storyline. That's how it was framed. Like, this is a storyline to track. I'm going to track how dominant Kentucky is. That's what I'm going to track.
Right. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but it'll be to a point where it'll be like, oh man, Kentucky's now 19-1. Too many players being played?